Welcome back. We are in conversation with Temasek's Ravi Lambah. So Ravi, one sector where you have heavily invested, Ravi, in the last 1 year is the EV space. That's the upcoming next generation mobility space, and probably the electrification will happen first in the automobile space, especially in our country. And two of them are going for an IPO. Of course, IPO question next, but Ola Electric as well as Mahindra Electric. What's your view on this sector, and where is it headed? And especially with the latest, tiff with CNG players and everybody trying to get more subsidy and support out of the government. How do you see this whole ecosystem?
At the high level, energy transition is something that we are focused on. Yeah. We are focused on, ESG, sustainability. We think that electric vehicles is a very important part of that entire transition in the industry, in the auto industry. Yeah. And look, we picked two companies to invest because one was focused on the SUV space, one is on the sort of two-wheeler space. One is a staple, effectively a consumer staple in the country, where two-wheelers are something that are necessary, but that's got to do with people for mobility, for food delivery, and everything. So it's a staple business. So we think there's a long runway for it. We've known the company from our experience with them in the rideshare business, and this was a good extension of our relationship, as a long-term relationship with Ola, and we continue to believe in the EV space in India.
Right, and about two, EV companies, pure play, two-wheeler companies gearing up for an IPO, and of course your portfolio company, Ola Electric, being almost ready. Ravi, in the pre-IPO round, you had invested at $5.5 billion of valuations. You think at the current environment, that is a valuation, and an uptick to that valuation is quite achievable, and your view on part exit from this IPO?
Okay, I don't think it's fair for me to comment on something that's happening right now. All I will say to you is that we are long-term investors in this business because we believe in the long-term growth in the business. The fact that we may be taking some money off at the IPO is a consequence of of helping the IPO happen, and we see this as a long-term play. We're comfortable with the valuation we invested. Of course, we always hope that we will make good returns out of all our investments, so this is no different.
Right, and you continue to also grow your portfolio when it comes to the early stage startup kind of businesses. You've done quite a bit of that in the last year. What is the overall strategy now, Ravi, there, and what are the kind of companies now you're picking? Because there has been a clear sector rotation. There was a time when fintech was up. Now everybody is talking about AI. So combining your strategy on this new age businesses, strategy on AI combined with that, how do you view it, and what is the thesis of AI investment for you?
So just to break that question down, so in terms of the early stage businesses, we are putting capital to work where we see profitable, the ability for the company, the potential to be profitable in the short term. If you don't see that, then we struggle only because that time could take longer and we can put capital to work elsewhere. So that's just a selection process based on profitability and potential profitability. AI is a great question. It's a question that we see globally. We started recognizing the AI disruption or the AI, sort of contribution to industry several years ago. We set up a pod in the US, which is a team that's actually focusing on business building within AI, and that team is giving us very good insights. Based on those insights, what we're seeing is there's almost no company in our portfolio globally, and in India too, who's not focused on AI. And there are two principal focuses on AI. How will AI disrupt my business? And how can I create value out of AI? And if I look at both those, we are laser focused on that with all our portfolio, helping them understand that if you want to do something new, what will AI do to disrupt that? If you want to put capital into a company that we haven't invested in before, we want to see how AI will disrupt it and how AI will create value. So I would not look at AI as a specific theme. I think it's part of our core investment process.
All right. Let's come to the exit opportunities. You have to, exit right for the right investments to really take place and more investments to really take place. Now, of course, Ravi, in the last 2-3 years, India has presented opportunities when it comes to IPO market and new age businesses as well. And last year was a breakthrough year in terms of having large exits done on our public, market platforms, which is a breakthrough, year for us, and it gives a lot of comfort to investors like yourself, and you have beautifully also capitalized on that opportunity. How do you see the exit opportunities going forward? At least two of your portfolio companies are readying for an IPO. So let's talk about the exit opportunities and also Niva Bupa, because we haven't spoken about the financial services space.
I think at the high level, again, Nisha, my view is that the domestic capital markets in India are really maturing very quickly. India is now the fifth largest capital market globally. What does that mean? That means that you have companies with market caps are rising, daily trade volumes are rising.
Yes.
The ability to deploy larger dollars is there, much more than it was before. Ability to exit larger dollars is also enhanced significantly. So you can do $1 billion sale, get out of a listed company, overnight, which is now getting easier. So for investors like us who are long-term focused, we disregard the day-to-day, the month-to-month, the year-to-year. Long-term, we believe that we can now invest larger dollars and we can exit in larger dollars too, because the markets are giving us that opportunity. So I think to me, that addresses everything we would do in the portfolio when it comes down to looking at timings of investment and divestment.
Right. So the equity market valuations, even though they have given good exits to the investors, but on the flip side, the investment and deal conversions have been difficult. How do you view investments at this point, and also the difference between the public market and the private market valuations?
That's actually a great question, because I think ultimately the valuation is not right, you don't invest. Because I always believe that the only thing you know for sure is the price you pay. Everything else is blue sky, because you got to look at the future. So if the price is right based on our intrinsic value test, it tells us it's the right time to invest, the management's right, the company's right, the sector's right, then we will put capital to work. If we believe the valuation's high, we just won't invest at that time. And again, when it comes to public markets, India has always traded at a 1 or 2 standard deviations higher than global averages. And we've been comfortable at investing because we believe that if you buy at that level, the growth in the market, the growth in the business, and the value you can generate over a longer term potential is there. So we don't mind paying that price for the right business. So we are less worried about the valuation in the sense when we put capital to work, we always get comfortable that the price is right. If it's not right, we just don't buy.
So has it changed your strategy towards investment in the recent past?
Well, we put $3 billion to work last year, and we continue to look for opportunities. We are positive. Like I said, we will hold back if we think the valuation is higher, and it is higher in certain places, but at the same time, there's value to be taken in certain places. So we're just looking at it very systematically.
I wanted to take your view on financial services also, Ravi. Of course, one of your portfolio companies is heading for an IPO, Niva Bupa. Insurance has been dynamic over the last few years. How do you view this company and overall financial services currently?
Again, it won't be fair for me to comment on Niva Bupa, but we made the investment on the basis that we have a strong belief that insurance is a great place, huge runway, long way to go, and just started actually in many ways. So we have invested in public markets and insurance. We have invested in the private space as well. The fact the company is going public is just another milestone in its own journey. IPO is a one point in time event, right? Ultimately, we are focused on the long term, and that's how we look at it. Financial services, insurance is a place we will put more capital.
All right, Ravi, always a pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for sharing all your thoughts.
Thank you, Nisha.
Thank you. And with that, it's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in.